Simps are condemning men going their own way.
Single guy or you're a college guy, here's what you need to know. You're selfish. You're looking forward to an attractive woman taking care of you, which is similar to the relationship that you had with your mother. You were selfish and she would tend to you. And what we're getting right now with a lot of marriages with young men, they are immature and they attract overly responsible young women, and they end up with a relationship that looks more like a big sister and a little brother than it does a husband and a wife.
Simps are condemning men going their own way. So, guys, these gentlemen are pissed off with men going their own way because men going their own way are not settling for, leftovers. They're not settling for something they do not want. They're either walking away, they're going their own way, saying that we want to avoid relationships, dating, and all the stress that comes with it. And the Simps are just up in arms. Watch to the end of the video to fully understand why Simps are condemning men going their own way, or what the implications are, and how women are going to be affected going forward into the future. And now let's just go ahead and jump right into the very next video.
Men are over-mothered, under-fathered. That's the issue. How many of you growing up, every time there was something that was hard, your mom was trying to soften the blow and ease the process. And your dad was like, yeah, they'll figure it out. That's why you need a dad. And what a good man does, he sets an example for his sons. He goes to work. He gets stuff done. He's dependable. He's responsible. He's hardworking. And as a boy grows up and sees that, that's what he aspires to. But here's the problem. Many men don't have a dad. And that's where the church comes in. We're here to fill the gap. God's family makes up for the lack of healthy family.
God's family, so the church can replace the father in the home. Guys, what does that sound like to you? The state replacing the father in the home. The state replacing the man in the home. Notice in the earlier video, he basically says that if you are a man who wants an attractive woman, then you are selfish, and hence you are committing a sin. If a man wants an attractive woman, he is actually lusting after his mother because his mother was an attractive woman who did everything for him. Hence, he does not want a mature, capable woman. He is lusting after his mother when he wants an attractive woman. Guys, do you hear this logic? The reality is that what you should be doing is settling for a woman who is mature and will allow you to take care of her and make sacrifices for her and your family the way God intended, so that you will thereby create a legacy that God will be proud of you for. Yeah. These guys, they are so pissed off. They are so furious because men are saying that they will no longer be disposable. They will no longer be used. They will no longer throw their lives away. They will no longer sacrifice themselves for people and a country that does not like them and does not care for them. And how are the Simps responding? The Simps are responding with fury. The Simps are responding with anger. The Simps are saying that you're not a real man because you're walking away. You're not a real man because you're going your own way. A real man sacrifices himself for his country and for his family and for society. It's not about what you can receive. It's about what you can give. It's about sacrifice. All right? Men are born to sacrifice. That is the message of these men. And they're pissed off because men are walking away from the workforce. Men are not participating anymore. Men are only working just enough to survive and thrive and no more. And what's that doing? It's costing them everything. Men pay 80% of taxes. Women make 80% of all consumer purchases. So if men pay 80% of taxes, that means that men are also paying the vast majority of all tithes within the churches. So they pay 80% of all tithes as well. Just use a bit of logic and reason. If everything is balanced and equal, all right, then if men are paying 80% of all taxes in the United States, that means that they would also be paying 80% of all tithes in the church. So the church is losing lots of money because men are dropping out of society. Men are not working. Men are not throwing their lives away over absolutely nothing anymore. And the church is just another form of the state. So that tithe money and that offering money is no longer coming in. So these men are desperate. These men are absolutely desperate. You know, they're having trouble keeping the doors open. They're having trouble providing for their families. All right. They don't know how they're going to pay the bills. Church is in foreclosure right now. Church is in foreclosure. All right. Mortgage payment is due on their home, and they don't know how they're going to make that payment. And the reason why is because these men don't want to go out into the labor force anymore and sacrifice themselves in the labor force the way they used to. And as a result, there's no money anymore. Instead, these men are working just enough to survive and thrive and no more. And a lot of them are not even going to the church anymore. If they want to get together and do Bible study, they will do it online. And they're not spending a dime. All right. No money is leaving their wallet. And of course, these pastors, they're saying that this is a sinful action. It's a sinful action against it. It's a sinful action that God views as sinful. It's an action that creates disparity within society, that creates disruption within the family. It's an action that creates problems for women. All right, it is directly toxic, and men need to eliminate this behavior. They are pissed off because they no longer have access to the wealth and resources of men. All right, I told you that when it comes to women and the pastor, they said they're accomplices. They are 100% accomplices in extracting wealth and resources from men and reallocating it to the church, and everyone gets a cut. It's just like the state. Basic women are agents of the state, hence they're agents of the church. The church is just another form of the state. How do women operate in society? By operating as agents of the state, they reallocate wealth and resources from men to the state, using divorce court, using family court, using civil court, using criminal court. And as such, they are then rewarded by getting a cut of that. The church, the state gets a cut, the women get a cut, everyone gets a cut. The more that they're able to reallocate to the state, and everything is biased. So, they just need a reason to prosecute these men and separate these men from their money. And the more they're able to separate from these men, the larger the cut that they're going to get. It doesn't matter if it's grounded in truth or not. They don't care. The state doesn't care. It's whatever they can use to separate a man from his money, to separate a man from his resources, or to incarcerate a man. If you're able to incarcerate a man, put a man in prison. Guess what? Now the state can also use him as an SLAVE, and also then thereby have a reason to reallocate resources to the state on the behalf of needing to keep this man incarcerated and so forth. So he's in prison, and they're basically spending $3,000 a year to keep him alive, while they're charging the state $120,000 for him. All right, while they're charging, so basically they're collecting, and they're like, well, the state is charging $120,000 for him. And how do they do that? And then what do they do? They're like, oh, well, we need $120,000 to keep this dangerous man incarcerated, because he was smoking weed and jaywalked. And so we're just going to raise your taxes. We're just going to take that out of the tax money. Oh, so there we go. So they're just looking for reasons to put men away, to put men through the divorce court system, to put men through the family court system, whatever, because it helps to reallocate wealth and resources from the man to the state. All right, men pay 80% of all taxes, so they're basically taking that money from men still to pay the state. It's a psychotic system, and the Simps are going wild. They're pissed off. They're like, "How dare you walk away? How dare you do this?" All right, it's all of them.
For a woman, because we were made to look after you. But I don't understand the young man who doesn't want to work. We have some men who don't like to work. You sit in the room, you put on television and watch Netflix while this little woman goes to work. For you, I have a sermon, a whole sermon. I'll bring it one day.
Do you see that? For you, I have a sermon, an entire sermon. This little woman goes to work. So when we're talking about equality, we're talking about equal pay and capacity and intelligence. Men and women are equal. They are paid equal. In fact, women out-earn men. And Thomas Sowell has said that it's been going on since like the 1970s. He said that since the 1970s, women were out-earning men. But we know for a fact, all right, we have the facts that women have been out-earning men since the 1990s. And even then, they continue to say that, oh, there's a disparity in the pay between men and women, when women actually out earn men. Women are earning the vast majority of all college degrees. So isn't it logical that they would be out earning men in society? Absolutely. And that's been happening for a long time. But of course, they continue to spread these lies because they want to play the card that women are powerful victims and men are pathetic villains. All right? Because women have a monopoly on victimization. All right? I'm a victim, so you need to give me money. I'm a victim. It doesn't matter if it actually happened, because we live in a society where men are guilty until proven innocent. All right? And that's a big if, because once they say it's you, you're usually screwed. Where is this ultimately going to lead? What are the consequences of this, guys? It's the consequences are more and more men will just simply walk away. Oh, this is just sign language, as Kevin Samuels used to call it. Shame, insults, guilt, gaslighting, nagging, because they need to be right. All right. And it's not going to work, because the more they push this agenda, the more they push this toxic messages at men, the more men will either walk away and explore their other alternatives, or they'll go their own way and say, we want to be separate from relationships and society, and just basically live lives, simple lives of luxury, of simplicity and luxury, because the average man can live in a shoebox comfortably at the side of the road, which is something that the average woman simply cannot do. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, consider subscribing to our newsletter for my personal thoughts, insights, and a free copy of my ebook, The Blueprint for Escaping the Rat Race. Click the link in the description to get your free copy, guys. I want to know what your thoughts are on this, gentlemen. All right? Because you've got these simps, and they are now condemning men going their own way. Men who just want to have nothing to do with relationships, men who just want to live their best lives. And they're saying that that's not what life is about. It's not about survival. It's about sacrifice. It's not about taking care of yourself. It's about taking care of others. God didn't put you here to simply survive. He put you here to sacrifice for others so that they can survive. Get the heck out of here. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWM and walking away. And cheers.